So I'm in half guard, and let's slide that way a little bit. Anthony has, he wants to switch to reverse scarf or like a Marcelo pass position. So he's gonna go across. When he does that, I want to get a frame right away. Remember, he wants to open me up and slide weight north. Here I'm weaker. I'm not gonna be able to do what I'm gonna do today. So I want to get, so I've got a good frame, and I want to lock my inside leg underneath my outside leg and get it right up to the knee. And I want to be above his knee. I don't want to be down here. Okay, I want to be above his knee, so up on the shelf, and I want to have a good frame here. Once we establish this, now we can think about going to this sweep. So to keep the frame, I'm going to keep my arm against his back, but I'm going to grab his belt here. And now the hardest part of this, and where you might have to just force yourself mentally, you got to insist on getting your arm out and getting up on your elbow. Once you get here, you should have the sweep. Because from here, I still have my legs locked above his knee, I got my elbow, and now I can use my legs and my elbow to lift my hips up off the mat and turn into them and come up with the sweep. And of course, I would come back and start working my half guard game, get a good base. I wouldn't stay hanging out over there. So again, we're in half guard. He goes to reverse scarf. Try to right away keep the frame. It's easier to keep it than to get it back and get this on top. So I'm pulling his leg in close, putting this leg on top, and then locking. And then to keep him from pushing it off, you can scissors your legs like this. You know, if they're open, easier for him to push off. If I scissor them together, I'm a lot stronger to keep that above his knee, because he's gonna be trying to work it below. Then I've got my frame, reach for the belt. If his belt's untied, you could grab the pants, or you might just have to make do with hanging onto the gi, but you're not gonna get any pull there. Belt is ideal. And then this part, swing your arm out, then get up on it, and then make it, you know, a good angle underneath your shoulder where you can lift your hips now, turn into them, and come up with the sweep. Okay? So this one, Anthony knows the sweep is coming, so he goes to reverse Marcelo. I frame, I lock, get his belt, I swing out, and as I start coming up, he's gonna bring his elbow to his belly, his left elbow, and he's gonna slide his arm through, because he wants to post, right? He wants me to stop bringing him that way. So, and some guys will even grab you here and like just go around my body and try to take you back that way. That works too. So I don't want him to get here for sure. This isn't as bad because I can still get it. But when he's coming through with it, so put your hand back. As he's coming through, I gotta catch him here, grab his wrist, and grab a Kimura. So I grab his wrist with my thumb at first. I still have my legs locked above his knee. And then I find it easy to get my own wrist. It's a little far here. I just fall down and push it back. And as I do that, I go thumbless. So now he's probably, you know, if he stays there, I'm gonna finish him. So he's probably gonna react. He'll pull his left knee out, base up, hide his hand, and we're gonna be in half guard Kimura, right? This is probably where it'll end. And we're gonna deal with this next. But for right now, I just want you to get to this Kimura, okay? So we're in half guard. Here, he goes reverse. We set up everything that we just did. Good frame, good lock above the knee, grab the belt, keeping our frame, swing our arm out, get up on our elbow, he pulls that through, get your Kimura right away, lock it up. Thumbless, grab your own wrist, have his wrist here, and now we can go into our half guard Kimura game from there. Kimura, half guard, we ended up here, right? As he countered our sweep, we countered his counter with the Kimura, and now we're in half guard. So I'll show this from two angles. He's hiding it, obviously, so we're not gonna get a finish from here, and we're in half guard. Close guard, we can talk about ripping out, finishing, but I wanna show you the sweep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shrimp and put this foot in front of his other knee here. Shrimp till you can get it in front, and I'll switch angles so you can see. And then this foot, I lock it down. So I'm really hanging on to his far knee now. Once I have that, I want to go flat on my back. I want to bring his knee to the center of my body here. So now I've got lifting potential, right? He's straight over me, otherwise I'd be pushing him sideways. Once I'm here, he's still gonna be hanging on, right? So anytime this comes out, like especially in this case, I could maybe get the finish here, or he would somersault and I'd get a sweep. So he's gonna hang on. I'm gonna start lifting that butterfly hook on the far side. Once I have enough pressure that he can't jump off of it, then I take this foot out and I help my lift by pushing on the mat, and I'm gonna roll him over that shoulder that I've got trapped. And I just stopped here to show it, but in a roll, I would have momentum, and I would follow him up and surround his head with my knees here. And now, if he's, let's just say he's hanging onto his gi or his belt, remember, we want to glue it to our chest so that we can use our whole body to control his arm. And I want to pull him through a pinch. Instead of going against like a hook, I want to go through a pinch this way. So he's hanging on to keep it from coming this way. I'm going to go out away through the pinching part of his hand, then come up so he can't reestablish a grip and go to his back for the finish. Once again, we ended up in Kimura half guard shrimp. Oops, I said I'd teach you from the other angle. So we ended up in Kimura half guard. He's hiding it in his hip. I'm gonna shrimp, put this foot in front of his knee, lock it back down nice and tight. So I've got my butterfly hook and the lockdown. Now I'm gonna go flat on my back here, and I'm gonna start lifting that hook. And as I get it up in the air, then I take this foot out to help me lift, and I'm gonna take him over the shoulder that I've got trapped here, follow, come up, surround his head so that he can't spin out, lock it to my chest, break it, come around, finish. Just a quick why you put the Marcel Kimura on me. So why you want to cover this side of my head, right? You don't want me getting out of here, okay? So I'm hanging on, whatever. If he puts his leg up, I can keep, or even if he moves his knee out, I don't care. I can spin here and come up and have my own arm bar. Okay, so you don't want him to be able to spin out. So even put it a little tighter, right? He's here, he just slides his knee out a little bit. I can push it out. I get to here because he's hanging onto my arm, but that means I've got his wrist here. So I can come up and I got to swing around, put my knee in the armpit, other one around the head, and then finish an arm bar. Not part of today's, but I just wanted to explain why we're doing that. So now we're gonna go back to the reverse Marcelo again. So he goes here, I lock my legs, I got my frame, and while I'm looking for the sweep, maybe I can't get out on my elbow, or he really doesn't like the frame I have, he starts driving towards my shoulder, right? And some guys, when they're driving, they pick their hip up. What I want to do then is they're making space underneath. I want to pick their leg up even more, hook my leg behind. And if I can do that, now I'm going to take his back. I keep this and I start shrimping around his leg here. So I'm shrimping around, grab the far armpit. And if he stays on his knees, we all know what to do, right? Pose him between the knees, come up, hooks in. If we'll do it again and he'll stay, he won't come up on his knees. So we're here, he's driving, I notice a little space, I increase the space just by grabbing his pants. Get your leg in, hook it behind his leg. Because if I stay down here, he can pivot and put his knee back over me. So I want it to stay there. I start shrimping out and he stays down, pull him into you, keep that bottom hook in, and you might end up here with a seatbelt where you gotta open him up to get the hook, or maybe you can just go right to the hook. But when he stays down, we drag him sideways. If he gets up, we jump up and take his back.